Welcome to Gang Compendio, the channel where we explore the fascinating and often misunderstood stories of gangs and underground cultures from around the globe. Today we kick off our journey with a deep dive into the rebellious and vibrant world of Japan's infamous biker gang, Bōsōzoku. Bōsōzoku, the violent speed tribes, are more than just motorcycle enthusiasts. They're a subculture born from rebellion, a blend of post-war discontent and youthful defiance. From their flamboyant style to their ear-splitting parades, the Bōsōzoku captured the imagination of Japan and the world. To understand the Bōsōzoku, we need to step back to the 1950s. Post-World War II. Japan was a nation grappling with the scars of defeat and the rapid demands of modernization. The destruction of traditional social structures and the push for economic recovery created an environment of intense change, with younger generations often feeling disconnected from their parents' values. Amid this transformation, motorcycles emerged not just as a practical mode of transport, but as a powerful symbol of freedom and rebellion against the societal expectations. Drawing influence from the post-war American biker culture, popularized by films like The Wild One, and deeply rooted Japanese ideals such as Bushido, the samurai code of loyalty, courage, and honor, young men began forming motorcycle gangs. These early groups saw themselves as modern samurai, navigating a rapidly changing world and creating their own codes of conduct. At the same time, the motorcycles they rode represented speed, power, and an escape from the monotony of everyday life. The economic boom of the 1960s and 1970s further fueled this movement. As Japan became more prosperous, consumer goods like motorcycles became more accessible, allowing even working-class youth to partake in this growing subculture. For many, joining a gang was not just about rebellion, but about finding a sense of belonging in a fragmented society. Their gang rituals, brotherhood, and communal rides were expressions of solidarity in a world that seemed increasingly impersonal. By the 1970s, the Bōsōzoku had evolved into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. They distinguished themselves through flamboyant fashion, including jumpsuits inspired by Japanese workwear and military uniforms, often adorned with bold kanji slogans, proclaiming their defiance and identity. Their bikes became moving canvases, modified with exaggerated features like extended handlebars, garish paint jobs, and loud exhaust systems. These visual elements were as much a declaration of individuality as they were a rejection of conformity. This fusion of Western and Japanese ideals created a subculture that was both global in its influences and deeply rooted in Japan's unique cultural landscape. The Bōsōzoku, through their loud parades and rebellious antics, became a symbol of youthful defiance, capturing the imagination of both admirers and critics alike. And now let's talk about their style. But first, I would like to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe. What is the most fascinating thing about Bōsōzoku culture for you? Comment down below. And now a little quiz for you. One of the most famous manga that was inspired in part by this culture is Akira. Do you remember the name of one of its protagonists? He ride a red motorcycle. Be careful, the answer is hidden in the video. And now let's continue with our journey. Let's start with their look. During their peak, the Bōsōzoku were a force to be reckoned with. Thousands of members roared through Japan's streets, donning customized motorcycles and uniforms that screamed defiance. Style is a cornerstone of the Bōsōzoku identity. From their clothing to their bikes, every detail tells a story of rebellion and individuality. The uniforms, or tokafuku, feature dramatic embroidery with slogans like speed and rebellion. These aren't just outfits, they're declarations of intent. And the bikes? They're pure art. These machines are loud, colorful, and unapologetically bold. Modified to the extreme, they're designed to turn heads and challenge norms. The Bōsōzoku bikes are rolling canvases. Every modification, from the stretched handlebars to the customized paint, represents the rider's personality and defiance. What truly sets the Bōsōzoku apart is their sense of community and rituals. They weren't just gangs, they were brotherhoods bound by a code of loyalty and respect. Group rides or parades were not just about showing off. They were acts of defiance against authority and a demonstration of unity. New members underwent initiation rituals that bonded them to the gang, but with visibility came conflict. The Bōsōzoku's public antics often put them at odds with the law. Police crackdowns and stricter regulations in the 1990s marked the decline of their dominance. Though their numbers have dwindled, the Bōsōzoku's influence remains. Their spirit can still be seen in modern subcultures, from anime to fashion, and even contemporary motorcycle clubs. But what made their members so captivating? It wasn't just their bold style, it was their undeniable charm and magnetic personalities. Bōsōzoku members often carried an air of defiance and confidence, embodying a rebellious charisma that drew people in. They were unapologetically themselves, exuding a raw energy that made them both intimidating and fascinating. This charm wasn't just about bravado, it was about loyalty, passion, and a deep sense of identity. Members often had close-knit bonds with each other, creating a familial atmosphere that fostered loyalty and mutual respect. Their personalities were as colorful as their attire. They embraced a mix of humor, audacity, and fearlessness, often engaging in daring stunts or spirited confrontations that highlighted their fearless nature. This combination of camaraderie and individualism made them unforgettable figures in Japanese subculture. Whether roaring through the streets or standing proudly in their tokafuku, Bōsōzoku members weren't just part of a gang. They were icons of defiance and unity, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire new generations. The legacy of the Bōsōzoku is alive in unexpected places. Pop culture, especially anime like Akira and Tokyo Revengers, continues to draw inspiration from their iconic style and rebellious ethos. The distinctive look of the Bōsōzoku, from their embroidered jumpsuits to their vividly modified motorcycles, has become a visual shorthand for rebellion and defiance. In Akira, Kaneta's red motorcycle and the gang-centric storyline reflect the chaotic energy and unity of Bōsōzoku groups. Similarly, Tokyo Revengers dives into the camaraderie, honor, and conflicts that define these gangs, using them as a narrative core. Beyond anime, Bōsōzoku aesthetics have permeated into video games, fashion, and even music. Games like Yakuza incorporate elements of Bōsōzoku culture in their portrayal of urban street life, while the exaggerated styles and bold designs of Bōsōzoku uniforms influence Japanese streetwear brands. Musicians, too, have borrowed from the subculture, using its imagery to evoke a sense of raw energy and anti-establishment sentiment. This ongoing fascination with the Bōsōzoku highlights their enduring cultural impact. They serve as both a cautionary tale and a symbol of youthful defiance, illustrating how underground subcultures can leave an indelible mark on mainstream creativity. The Bōsōzoku were a mirror to Japan's youth, a reflection of their frustrations, dreams, and defiance against conformity. However, by the 1990s, the underground world of the Bōsōzoku was facing a steep decline. A combination of societal, legal, and cultural factors contributed to this downturn. Stricter policing played a critical role. The Japanese government enacted tougher traffic laws and mobilized law enforcement to crack down on gang activities, targeting the loud parades and illegal modifications that were the hallmarks of Bōsōzoku culture. These measures made it increasingly difficult for the gangs to operate in the open. Shifts in societal values also eroded their appeal. As Japan entered an era of economic stability and globalization, younger generations became more focused on careers and personal advancement than rebellion. The rise of alternative subcultures, such as hip-hop and visual kei, offered new avenues for self-expression, further pulling youth away from the Bōsōzoku lifestyle. At the same time, the public perception of Bōsōzoku shifted. Once seen as daring rebels, they came to be viewed as relics of a bygone era, a nuisance rather than a symbol of youthful defiance. Media portrayals began to focus less on their camaraderie and more on their clashes with the law, cementing a negative image in the public eye. Despite their decline, the legacy of the Bōsōzoku endures in unexpected ways. Their influence can still be seen in the aesthetics of modern motorcycle clubs, fashion, and pop culture. They remain a testament to the enduring power of subcultures to challenge norms, even as their era draws to a close. The Bōsōzoku were more than just a gang. They were a cultural movement that defied norms and left an indelible mark on Japan's history. What's your take? Were they misunderstood rebels or reckless outlaws? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the world's most fascinating gangs. This is Gang Compendio signing off.